I rise today to solemnly mark Yom HaShoah, also known as Holocaust Remembrance Day. Yom HaShoah, which began last night at sundown, honors the lives and heroism of the more than 6 million Jewish children, women, and men who between 1933 and 1945 were victims of the Holocaust. As Manitobans, we come together to remember the lives taken, their brave resistance, and to honor the countless families worldwide who were forever altered by the Shoah, both the 6 million Jews and the approximately 5 million more murdered because of their ideology, ethnicity, race, religion, sexual orientation, or mental and physical disabilities, all representing many tragic lost generations of dreams, loves, and promise. The first commemoration of Yom HaShoah took place in 1951, a mere 6 years after the end of World War II, the date itself marking the beginning of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. Thousands of survivors of the Shoah sought refuge here in Canada, with many making their home in Manitoba. Many of these survivors arrived in Winnipeg. The former B'nai Abraham Synagogue was one of the first to create a space for survivors to gather, and one of the first synagogues in Canada to house a permanent memorial to survivors. As demographics have shifted, many of these community members and their families have moved to the south end of Winnipeg. They and their families have tirelessly worked with Manitobans of all backgrounds to build stronger, more inclusive, more welcoming communities. We pause to honor that today as well. In 2000, the provincial government established an annual day of commemoration for Yom HaShoah and unveiled Manitoba's Holocaust Memorial on the grounds of the legislature, the first of its kind in Canada. I encourage all Manitobans to visit the monument and to reflect on our shared responsibility to ensure that that dark period of history does not repeat itself. Unfortunately, as the years pass, fewer and fewer survivors remain to stand witness to the horrors of this time and to share their stories of survival. So it becomes even more important for us to share their stories for them, to ensure that their lives are remembered and the lessons from that brutal time not forgotten. Our government is stepping up in that regard. We have enshrined Holocaust education in the provincial curriculum. Only by learning from the past can we hope not to repeat it. And our government has listened to not only the Jewish communities, but other communities of faith who have also faced discrimination, with a dedicated criminal prosecutor for hate crimes in Manitoba. Honorable Speaker, we must ensure that we are all working together to combat the rising tide of anti-Semitism and Holocaust denialism. I've been humbled to take part in a variety of Yom HaShoah services, including the reading of the Megillat HaShoah during an interfaith service at Congregation Shar Zedek last night, and on the grand staircase of the legislature a short time ago. But, Honorable Speaker, the most moving of these events occurred this morning here in the legislature, during which the names of the victims of the Holocaust were read aloud. I am deeply privileged to have been one of those readers and to have shared that honor with so many of the honorable members of this assembly. When considered together, the reality of 6 million Holocaust victims is incomprehensible. To truly understand the scope of that tragedy, we must consider them one individual name at a time. Unto every person there is a name. I request that the names of the victims from my list be added to Hansard so they might be part of our Chamber's permanent record. At a time in history when so many forces are seeking to pull us apart, when we see a rise in anti-Semitism, we need to now hold each other a little closer. Understanding the suffering of others enables us to move forward as a community. Today is one of those days in which we must commit ourselves to doing so and to solemnly pledge never again. I ask Glee for a moment of silence to honor the victims of the Shoah.